Hey YouTube, sorry if I look tired. I didn't get a proper amount of sleep. Before we get into the patch rundown, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support lately, all the nice comments and all the views lately. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. Anyways, let's dive right into it. So, welcome Fortune Chasers. We're getting creative with a few of our buffs and nerfs this week, with a few changes approaching rework territory. Sinjar's spell is getting significant changes that should make him a viable AD carry for Warlord compositions. We're also curbing Aphelios' unhealthy attachment to Rageblade by removing his turret's ability to trigger on-attack effects and generate mana. Finally, and arguably the most exciting change of the patch, we're adding more loot tables for Fortune 10, 11, and 12 round loss streaks. KDA Little Legends of both the All Out and Pop Stars variety are hitting the virtual shelves this week. If you're looking to add something to your fortune, keep your eyes out for those. Let's get into it. So yeah, KDA Little Legends I believe are coming out Thursday. So the day after this patch comes out live on Wednesday. Highlights. Following KDA All Out and Popstar Little Legends are coming to TFT later this week. I covered them in the shop, and they, we have a more close-up picture. That's pretty cool. Got Squink, Furry Horn, Light Charger, Feather Knight, and Hushtail. They look so good. Systems. We've made improvements to the champion movement logic. This should result in more consistent and expected behavior, most noticeably at the start of fights when champions interact with each other. We'll see. I have no clue. I legitimately have no clue. Traits. Cultist changes. With chosen cultists counting as double star levels, we're seeing overperformance from Cultist 6 in the earlier stages of the game. The health nerf hits his early survivability, while the mana buff increases his effectiveness as a tank in the later stages. The immunity to CC to crowd control will make the supreme variant of Galio a more reliable overlord. So all Galio's mana from 5150 to 75 to 150, so he gets 25 more starting mana. That's good. He can ult a lot faster and get his damage reduction a lot sooner, so that's good. Demon Lord Galio, Cultist 6, base HP from 1750 down to 1650, so down by 100. That's fine, not too big of a hit. Supreme Overlord Galio, Cultist 9, is now immune to crowd control for 8 seconds after being summoned. So he has a once he's summoned, you'll see like a QSS around him for 8 seconds. So that'll be good. Supreme Overlord Galio, Cultist 9 based HP from 2500 to 2250, and his base AD from 400 to 320. So that's fine. Pretty good changes. So we started seeing a few 9 cultist comps starting to pop up because how strong Cultist 6 was in like mid game. So I think that's why they made some of these changes. And also I felt really bad that like because the set has so much CC, Galio would just like come in and get CC to death, and if your comp is running Giant Slayer, he gets immediately destroyed. So good changes. Other trait changes. Dazzler 80 reduction from 5080 to 4080. That's good. Dazzler's been a really good like tech trait to put in. It also doesn't help that it's running like the best comp at the moment with like Talon and Morgana, but it's also like a decent like tech trait you put in. You say you're fighting against assassins or sharpshooters. You could tech in your Lux, Lissandra, Easy, and Morgana, 2 of those 4, and then you do pretty well against them. Oh yeah, and I guess Ashe, but Ashe runs QSS, so. Divine bonus true damage and damage reduction from 40 to 50%. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty significant. Divine's gonna be really strong again. Not really strong, but like the divine units themselves will be strong again with this trait, so that's good. Because we kind of saw it kind of fall off after they had to nerf Shiv Warwick from Warwick. Divine bonus true damage and damage reduction duration, nerf that 2 and buff that 8. So 1 less second at 2 and 2 more seconds at 8. So at 8 definitely feels like a win condition. That's fine. 2 Divine was like relatively easy splashing. It didn't feel like too crazy, but because of buffing Divine, they probably wanted to tone back 2 Divine a little bit, especially in the early game when you get Jax and Wukong. So I think that's fine. Hunter bonus true damage nerfed down by 25 in 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's fine. Yeah, Hunter at depth has become like a relatively big top meta comp. So that's kind of good that they're toning back the damage because it finally became meta, and it became a little frustrating because like near the start of the fight, one of your chances would get immediately one shot by all the hunters. So that's good. Added new loot tables for fortune, 10, 11, 12 lost streak. Good luck. I heard something along the lines of like 6 Nico's help, so that should be interesting. You can like easily get a 3-star, so that's cool. Keeper shield duration from just flat 8 seconds to 8, 10, 14 at 2, 4, 6. That's really good. Keeper's been like, it's been okay, but it's not a comp that you would necessarily, what's it called? It's not a comp that you would, it's not a trade that you would keep for the entire game. You're not gonna run 6 keeper for the entire game. You're gonna run maybe like 2 to 4 keeper for like cultists or like just like the beginning of the game, or maybe you're running sharpshooters. At most you probably run like 2 to 4 keepers, so it didn't feel too good because their shield would just like run out, and you just like did that. So that's good. And then the buffing, no, they're nerfing 6 keeper because the duration is like 6 seconds longer. So that's good. It's a good change. Champions. Okay. Hold on a second. Tier 2. Aphelios' extreme synergy with Rageblade has forced him into an overall weak balance state when he doesn't have the item. We were decoupling Aphelios' reliance on Rageblade by removing his turret's ability to proc on attack effects or grant him mana. We'll now be able to put Aphelios at a better baseline and hopefully allow him to succeed with multiple item builds. Aphelios' turrets will no longer trigger on attack effects, Rageblade, Shiv, Hurricane, or granted mana, but will continue to trigger on hit effects, so like Shojin. You put Shojin on Aphelios, he'll still get 15 mana from his own auto attack, and then I think an additional 5 from one of his turrets, so he get like 20 mana. So Shojin is still a pretty good item on him. Might even be better because his starting and total mana is now from 90 out of 180 to 40 out of 80. So it only takes 4 auto attacks to get him going. You get a Shojin, you get a turret out. That's gonna be like what, 4 auto attacks roughly? Or yeah, so it's pretty good. And his attack speed buffed by 0.05. So cool. I'm interested to see how Aphelios might be in this new meta. They did nerf Hunter, but this is a relatively big rework / change, so it'll be kind of interesting still to see how he will play out as a potential carry, as a new different carry. Zed 80 steel buffed at 1 and 2 from 20 to 30, and then 30 to 35. It's pretty good. And then his magic damage buffed at 1 from 25 to 40. Pretty good. 1-star Zed was not bad, but it kind of started falling off a bit. And at 2, it's not bad either. But if you're trying to stack him as a carry, like 4 Ninja, 4 Shade, it didn't feel too good. Like it would just fall off super hard before you hit the 3-star Z. So that's a good change, good buff. Akali attack speed buff from 0.75 to 0.85. That's pretty good. So she'll be doing, what's it called? I guess she'll be able to ult a tiny bit faster still. After the mana lock. So that's not bad. And she can do maybe like a little bit more 80 damage from her auto from 4 Ninja. So cool. Cat ult damage buffed at 1-star from 600 to 750. Okay, I personally don't like this change. Um, the main problem with Katarina at the moment is that at 1 star, she is so she's such a glass cannon that if she gets targeted, she's dead before she even ults. So it's not even her ult that's an issue. I mean, even if she got the ult off at 1 star, she was pretty weak, so I'll give him that. But the main problem with Kat is that because it takes her so long to ult, and because she has such little HP, if you're not running Warlord, but even though that's usually the comp she's in, she's just useless. And she's pretty much usually the main carry. And like the Warlord slash maybe Fortune comps. So it's pretty bad to rely on her at the moment. Even if you stack like a blue buff on her, it's still because she takes a while to still like auto attack. It's a huge risk with Katarina. It's satisfying when she gets it off, but it's not, it's usually too late by that point. Kalista, Ren, when she pulls out from the spear, buff that 3-star from 8 to 9%. If you saw PvE or something like that, you would have seen that there was a typo of 90%. So if people were running 3-star Kalista on PvE, Kalista would be one-shotting things. So yeah, that was a little stupid, but anyways, not bad. Cannon armor and MR buff from 20 to 30. And cannon spell damage nerfed that 3-star from 1350 to 1200. That's good. It was kind of surprising to see that cannon had like no armor and MR, especially since you typically frontlined him with GA Morello, and he'd just get like one shot, even with Keeper. Not even one shot, but like he would get demolished, just so easily. So that's good, and it's good that they're toning back his 3-star damage because that AOE is huge. And that's a lot of damage to hit multiple units. So, good change. Alright, here's a big one. The big Sinjar rework. Sorry, there's something in my mouth. In the back of my throat or something. Our previous attempts at making Sinjar a legitimate carry have fallen short. This time we're going a bit more extreme with a mini rework of Crescent Guard in hopes that he becomes a good carrier of AD items for Warlord comps. We're thinking a Bloodthirster is on the menu. Crescent Guard rework. His ult. Sinjar sweeps around him, dealing 300, 325, 350% of his AD to nearby enemies, and gains 50, 60, 75 armor and MR for the rest of combat. That's huge. He becomes like a permanent AD tank, which for Warlord / Duelist comps, which is huge. Yeah, that's huge. So what I heard on PBE, I haven't tested it, but I've seen some videos. Is that you typically run like BT, Bramble, and then either you run QSS or Declaw just to make him like a super tank, or QSS just to make sure he gets his ults off. So yeah, like he's actually not just a placeholder unit, so that's good. Might see some Sinjar carries, so watch out. Sinjar now has a normal spellcast mana lock instead of having to wait until there are no challenge units, so that's good. Starting total mana from 0 out of 30 to 40 out of 80. Fix the bug where Crescent Guard could not crit. Cool. Tier 4. Ooh, we got a lot of stuff here. Let's start with this. Aria is a champion who can dominate an entire combat if she has the right items. We're adding in some potential ways opponents can try to disrupt her plans. Talon can be a bit oppressive, to say the least, to fight against, as his targeting allows him to reliably take out the enemy carries very quickly in a fight. We're adjusting Talon slightly to hopefully open up some more time and counterplay options against him. With the divine trait being rebuffed, we want to ensure that fighting against Warwick doesn't devolve into him permanently stunning his opponents. As an aside, Okay, we are looking to replace the fear with an entirely different mechanic in 10.24. Oh, that should be interesting. Let's dive right into it. Ari's Spirit Bomb is now an actual channel that can be interrupted, i.e. stun/GA, causing Aria to release her orb early and reducing the size of the impact area. Oh, okay. I understand now. Okay, because when I was watching Mortdog's rundown, like listening, I wasn't 100% sure how that worked, but interesting. Okay, so let's say, you CC Ari from like a Sedril or something, or a Jinxo. She releases her orb early, and I've been told that the size of the area normally is 2 hexes. Now it's only like 1 hex. It's a 1 hex radius instead of a 2 hex radius, something like that. So that's good. And including if she's in GA state and she manages to cast her ult off, so that's cool. That's fine, because playing against Aria felt really bad because your team would be, if you didn't position correctly and your team was all bunched up and they were all got CC'd by like Sejuani, they'd all get blown up by like double Jewel Gauntlet plus GA. You can't do anything about it, so it felt bad. But they are buffing in compensation because of the change. They are buffing her 1 and 2 star from 475 to 500 and 675 to 700. Sure. Ash health and armor down. Ash HP from 650 to 600. Armor 25 to 20. Sure. Yeah. Because she's an Elder Ward, she gets like armor and MR anyways, so it's kind of good. That she's getting this nerf. Sejuani starting /total mana 50 out of 130 to 70 out of 150. So it's gonna take a little bit longer for Sejuani to ult a bit. So that's good, because oh my goodness, everyone's been complaining about Sejuani. I kind of been too, because she can ult like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 times in a single match and in a single round, and it was really annoying. So that's good. Talon kill reset targeting instead of highest damage dealt to now lowest armor. So I was thinking about it, and people were already running Azir to stop Talon comps, but especially now you want to run Azir because I believe the Sand Guards have 0 armor. So when he resets his kill target, he will target the Sand Guard, I believe, instead, which is huge. That's huge. It's a huge counterplay. So yeah. Talon increases lead time after getting a successful kill. That's good. It felt like he was just jumping around like a freaking hyperactive bunny and just like one-shotting everything. Everyone's been like really disliking Talon and Morgana comps. Jesus Christ. I have been, especially too. Warwick fear duration down from 1.5 at 1 and 2 to 0.75. And his attack speed nerfed at 1 and 2 from 175 to 135 and 200 to 150. That's good. With the divine buff, he's gonna be a monster. So yeah, I believe the best items on him will be, I think people were saying like it was Deathblade, Hurricane, QSS. So it should be interesting. Fix the bug where his spellcast could fail if you performed a hunter attack doing it. So that's good. Tier 5. Lilia starting total mana from 75 out of 125 to 80 out of 120. That's kind of big. It's 1 less auto attack, meaning she only needs 4 auto attacks before she ults. That's pretty good. Oh, they actually gave us the notes. I watched the Mushroom Chicken video of it, which is amazing. 3-star Elise's knockout punch hits in an area around the primary target and knocks out any enemies directly hit regardless of their board position. So let's say you have 3-star Elise and then like 2 enemies. I need to look at like freaking OBS. Yeah, let's say this is Elise and you have 2 enemies right here. He kicks them both and they're just gone. it's insane. Like you can have like if you have a bunch of enemies stacked in the front and you have just like Lee Sin standing right there, he will just like kick all of them out. You can kick like probably four champs out at once, which is just insane and amazing. Because original V-Star Lee Sin was terrible. All he would do is just kick out one person, or he would just CC them for like 10 seconds. That's nothing. This doesn't do anything, so that's good. That's a cool change. Kane Reaper targeting has been adjusted to be more consistent in finding a valid target to spin towards. It's good. Sometimes I felt like he would just stand there, like just like ulting nothing or something like that. That's good. Bug, Swapkers will not work. Like Vayne's true damage and mobile stuff. Okay, cool. So, okay, a couple things. One, I don't know how much this will shake the meta. Mordog said supposedly that Divine. No, I don't want to get. I can't talk right now. Thank you. Spam caller. What's it called? That like Divine Warwick might be the best comp. I don't know 100% because you know Talon and Morgana has been like a huge dominating meta comp at the moment, and it's been really annoying because everyone would just be like, what's it called? Early slash mid game kind of doesn't matter at the current moment. You get it early chosen, you stick with it for a little bit, you sell them at 3-7, you roll down at 4-1 for that 4-cost chosen, and then you win the game, or you get top 4 for free. It's a really boring slash kind of stale thing. And doesn't help the fact that it's kind of annoying to deal with Talon one-shotting everything, so hopefully this will shake it up a decent amount. Again, reminder, KDA Little Legends will probably be out, I believe, on Thursday, November 12th. So look forward to these. What else? I think there was one other thing. Oh, if you want to try out the PBE 10.24 system changes today, I made a video about some of the changes there. Go try out PBE. But yeah, I think other than that, I think that's about it for me. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Made it to the end of the video. Thank you again for all the support. I really appreciate it. It really does mean a lot, especially if you comment some nice things or give me some feedback. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Take care.